With Fulham playing Arsenal and Tottenham playing Chelsea tomorrow, I've noticed that English football is dominated by London teams. Maybe not winning every competition, but they are obviously everywhere, with London being the biggest city. I've been wondering, what would English football look like if London teams weren't in it anymore? I'm going to find out today with the help of Football Manager. Here we are, start of season 1. And you'll notice that in the London Professional League Premiership, we have Arsenal, Brentford, Charlton, Chelsea, Palace, Fulham, Millwall, QPR, Tottenham, West Ham. So all the big Championship and Premier League teams from London in there. If we drop down a division to the second tier, you'll see that it's a lot more. There's quite a big gulf in quality between that top division and this division. So I'm kind of expecting the teams that go up this year in the first season probably will come straight back down, and the teams that go down might come straight back up. Or will they? But also, ignore the fact that it's got a San Marino badge. That's just the way it is. San Marino don't exist at the minute. I want to see how much higher the London League can get. It's currently ranked 7. Guessing that's because it's got Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham in it to sort of really bulk it up. But Greater London itself, London as a nation, is still 210th at the minute. And I want to see, after 1 season, few seasons, 15 seasons, something like that, where London end up. The rule is with this is obviously if they're a Londoner, they'll get Londoner status. If they've already committed to a nation, then of course they've got to stay with that nation. But by default, anybody that's a Londoner gets defaulted to London, and English or whatever their main one is, I suppose, gets taken off as a eligible nation, with hopes that they'll keep all of their Londoners playing. Of course, in the Premier League, that means a lot of teams have had to switch around. So teams like Blackburn, Luton are back in the Prem now. Sunderland. There's lots of teams in there. So I want to see really how they do in the league, how the nation does as a whole, how they do in the Champions League, Europa League, and all that. I think we'll advance to end of season 1. Right, end of season 1. Interestingly, Man City have obviously won the league in England, Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle. But you're going to see teams like Wolves and Bournemouth in European competitions next year because of the way that it's been done differently. In London, though, Arsenal have won the first ever version of their professional Premier League, winning it by quite a way, really. They've qualified for Champions League, and at the minute, it's only, according to this, 2 spots in the Conference League, no spots in the Europa League. Did the likes of Arsenal? They did. Arsenal played in the Champions League this year. Oh, wow. Arsenal have still got to play Man City in the Champions League final. So we could have a Champions League winner from London in the first year. And we've jumped forward a day, and amazingly, Arsenal have won it. So in their first year as a nation, London have a Champions League winner. Tottenham, another London team, lost to Borussia Dortmund. And in the Conference League, they were nowhere to be seen. Whether they were even in it, was they, maybe? Were they? Was there any English teams that were from London that were in the Conference League? Of course they were. Chelsea are. They got knocked out by Ajax. England themselves, though, in the Premier League, they've remained top, the most highest ranked nation. Not a lot's going to change from here after first season. This will be one that more changes after 15 seasons, to be honest with you. In terms of London's results, they've got people like Dean Henderson. It's quite a coup for them to have. Tino Livramento's theirs. There's some decent players playing for them now. I say now, instead of San Marino, you know. So, but they played this year since September. They beat Northern Ireland. They lost to Slovenia. They beat Kazakhstan, Denmark, Finland, and Northern Ireland. Was that enough to get them into the Euros, though? No. San Marino had left in too big of a task after losing the first, or picking up 1 point from the first 3. But it's still not bad. It's still pretty good going. That Slovenia loss cost them, really. I think if they'd won that, would they have got through? No, they still wouldn't. It still wouldn't have been enough. So probably fair. So we'll see how they get on in the next one. We'll jump ahead though. See how the teams get on in the Champions League in Season 2, as well as the Europa League and the Conference League as well, of course. Right, so first of all, London has risen to 171st. That's got to be pretty good. That's handy to know. Interestingly, their captain is Adji Elise, though. From Leeds. Wasn't the name I'd expect to see there, but okay. Their team's building quite nicely. In terms of their games as a nation, shut up. They beat England in their last game. Samuel Elling scoring 2 and Vitaly Janelt scoring 1. That is crazy. Oh, they won every single Nations League game as well, so they finished top of their Nations League group. Battered the rest of them. So you expect them to do quite well in that anyway. But they've started off their World Cup qualification really well. Holy hell, you've got London, England, Wales and Scotland all in the same group. Oh, that's tasty. That is tasty. For sure, before we jump to the London League, so I want to check out this in England. City winning the league again, United, Liverpool, Villa and Newcastle. They're the teams to sort of be right up there now. No real big surprises yet. No one really pushing on massively in those leagues yet. London's interestingly dropped down to 8th, despite them having the Champions League winner from last year, which is interesting to know. In terms of the league table, yeah, it's pretty much as you'd expect. Although, last year, did they have more teams than that? No. Oh, only one team goes down from the Premier League. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was thinking, hang on, they've had more teams than that in there, I'm sure. They did. But they didn't. But 2 teams went down this year. Which means then that the second tier must have QPR and Dagenham and Redbridge going up. So they'll be joining them up there. That's surprising. It's not the team I expected. Dagenham and Redbridge made an appearance today in the other Football Manager video. So go and check that out. That's up there in the corner, up there somewhere. Go and check that out. It's my Christmas save. I've got to win everything I can with every nation in the world. Like, I've got to sign a player and they've got to start for Western-super-Mare. I've got to cover every nation. Go and watch it. It's good. 8-minute episodes per day-ish. Bumper one today, though. So go and enjoy if you haven't already. Make sure you leave a like on there as well. So yeah, Wimbledon won it last year. And I believe they've just come straight back down there, didn't they? Yeah, Dagenham and Redbridge beating Charlton. That's quite big. Chelsea won it this year, though. So that's quite big news for Chelsea as well. Chelsea, Arsenal, they're going to have this really intense rivalry. Absolutely no doubt about that. Tottenham doing Tottenham things, finishing 4th in a 3-horse race in it last year, and then finishing 5th in a 3-horse race this year. Good work, Tottenham. In terms of Champions Leagues, Arsenal have done it again, but they lost this time to Liverpool. So England, London in the finals yet again. So that's pretty big. What about the semis? So the other teams in the semis were Barca and PSG. Nothing big to write home about. In the Europa League, Inter Milan, Sevilla, and Conference League. Oh, West Ham won. All things going quite well, really, for London. England, not doing badly. We should have a quick check on how England are doing otherwise, though. They beat Israel. They lost to London, of course. Since we started this save, though, they've been doing as you'd expect. They got knocked out in the second round by Spain in the Euros. They had a really, really poor showing in the group by the looks of things. But otherwise, not awful. Shall we jump ahead now to the end of Season 5? Right, we're at the end of Season 5. First of all, Premier League. Let's check out how they've been getting on since... So what years did we do? We did 3 and 4. 3, 4, 4, 5. And Man United have won it for the first year since the save, which Phil will be happy about. Man City, though, I did spot they've sacked Pep as well for it. So I can't imagine they did too well in the Champions League either. Yeah, they only got to the quarters. But interestingly, Arsenal got knocked out at the quarters as well this year. So they've not made it to the final either. However, we've had a couple of seasons since then. Oh, I didn't even spot that. Liverpool was still in it. So Liverpool got to the final, they lost. That's good for Liverpool after season 5. Season 4, Man City also got there but lost to Real Madrid. Oh no, sorry, I stand corrected. Real Madrid, Man City twice happened as a final, and they beat Man City both years. So every single year so far, we've had an English team in it, as well as London clubs twice, which is Arsenal twice. Real Madrid on a 3-game winning streak, though. Pretty unstoppable, really. In terms of the Premier League for not San Marino, Greater London, Arsenal have won it this year. Chelsea have won it. Have Spurs won it at all yet? No. Arsenal have dominated. They've won every other year since we've been away. Chelsea, Palace have been third twice now, which has got to be pretty good for them. Also, interestingly, I've noticed the coefficients must have changed massively because they've got Champions League spots for second, third, and fourth, and fifth. Ooh, that must mean that I'm guessing one of these won the Europa League. The Europa League for 6th and 7th, and the Conference League for 8th. So 9th and 10th are the only teams that haven't got any European football next season. That is crazy. We focus on the Champions League, but let's have a little look. Has anything happened in the Europa League? No English teams won it yet. No London teams won it yet, but Arsenal did get there in the 3rd season. They've had a couple of English teams there. Villa have won it. Everton came runner-up. So the London and England teams are doing quite well and being able to coexist. Conference League, though. Tottenham won the Conference League this year, which is huge, against Leicester. Atalanta beat Palace the year before. So again, another London team. Southampton were there, so another English team were in the Conference League there. And of course, West Ham won it the year before. That's pretty damn good. London are currently up to 112th in the world, which really rising those ranks now. They won their Nations League, we knew that. They beat England. They then they had a mixed bag. Did they qualify for the World Cup? Was that enough to qualify? Doesn't look like it was. No, it wasn't. England finished above them in the table because of... they blew that. They really blew that. Whereas England, they went on and they won the World Cup that year. So huge for England. Did England qualify for the Euros? They did. They're yet to play. So we'll have to find out at the end of the next one whether they made it or not. Did London qualify for the Euros? Oh, they didn't. They didn't. They lost to Israel in the playoff semi-final, so they're still yet to make a major competition, which is big shame. Right, instead of jumping another couple of years, I'm going to jump a whole 10 years. And now we are into our 15th and final season, and Tottenham have still not won it. They've still never conquered Arsenal or Chelsea. They've dominated. Chelsea had a really good period of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 wins in a row. Arsenal and Tottenham battle it out to try and topple them. In all fairness to Tottenham, they've stayed in the top 3 for the last 8 years. We'll give them that, shall we? Because that's at least respectable. In terms of the league last year, obviously 4 teams didn't qualify for Europe this year. So, okay, it's not bad. In terms of the coefficient of the league, it's in 6th place. That's a pretty good spot for London to finish in. Not just behind League 1. Sutton have got up here now. Good effort. Millwall and Wimbledon, they're probably the 2 big teams that are sat in the 2nd division at the minute that probably shouldn't be in there. But no doubt they'll come back up at some point if I carried on with this. As for London themselves, they finished 40th in the rankings, which is really good going. Shaquille Van Persie, though, qualifying as a Londoner. And I think that's just fantastic, if nothing else. Robin Van Persie's son. Love that. Never playing in England or London and being their star man. Ethan Nwaneri, that's how you say his name. Their captain. Arsenal, Villa. Played Villa for many years in the Prem. Done really well. In terms of Champions Leagues, going on from Real Madrid, Liverpool have won it. Real Madrid picked up another. Chelsea got one. So there's another London club up there. A bunch of English clubs dominating for years. Doing really well, actually, the English clubs. Even Newcastle picking up 2 wins. So fair play to them. In the Premier League, then, does that mean we've had any? We have. Newcastle have won the league. Cardiff have even got up there into the Europa League, which is fascinating. Last winners, though, yeah, Newcastle have won the last 3 on the trot. So fair play to them. After Man United won it, Man City came back and started dominating again. And now Newcastle are on 3 winning streak. So yeah, Newcastle have done very, very well last few years. Champions League's done, so we'll have a quick look at Europa League. We had a Bournemouth Leeds final at one point a few years ago. Sheffield Wednesday played Barcelona last year in the Europa League final. That's crazy. Burnley were there the year before. England have actually benefited massively by not having London. It's bizarre. Genuinely bizarre. I don't think London have had a winner. If not in the Europa League. Right, we're having a quick look now because we missed the other things. World Cups. London got to a World Cup. They lost 4-0 to Colombia in the round of 16. But they did make it. They did quite well in their qualifying for that, to be fair. They had quite an easy group, in all fairness. They got to a Euros second round. Is that it? Is that all they had? They missed out on qualification that year. Yeah, that year they missed out on qualification. They ended up with England in their group, so they lost 2 of those games again. They missed that Euros. So realistically, they're at their peak right now. They really are. Yeah, they've lost. They took many, many years to get their first competition, but they made it. England, though, they got runner-up in 2030, and they won. Oh no, sorry, they came runner-up in 2036 of the Euros. I mean, they got the World Cup. They haven't achieved a lot more than London in terms of countries. In terms of leagues, England's done very well. London are a long way behind. They aren't a long way behind. I do want to point out something though before we finish the episode. Enzo Maresca, his job is insecure, but he has been at Chelsea the entire time. He has been there for 15 years, 51 days at that point. And for that, I applaud that man. However, if you look down through the teams, you'll notice there is a manager called Matt Gray who has been at Sutton for 19 years, 53 days as well. Unbelievable. And I'm baffled that Tottenham have allowed a manager to stay with them for 11 years. And in all fairness to Arsenal, they had some pretty mint managers in their 15 years. Arteta, Guardiola and Emre. So yeah, that's what would happen if London became its own country in Football Manager. The link for this database, if I remember, is in the description. If it's not there, I've forgotten. But until then, please leave a like, share, subscribe on this video, and we will catch you in the next one.